The ability to read and use a ruler is a basic skill requirement for workers in almost all occupations. A ruler is used to transfer information from the source of the information, such as a blueprint or written specifications, to the appropriate building material. Whether on the job or at home, the ability to read a ruler is a very important and useful skill. After completing this module, you should be able to identify the measurement divisions shown on a ruler and use a ruler to measure accurately down to 1/32 of an inch. All linear measurements are based on the principle of dividing distances into certain standard lengths, such as a foot or an inch, or fractional parts of these units. In general, the smaller the fractional division, the more accurate the measurement will be. The longest marking divisions on a ruler are the 1-inch divisions. There are 12 inches in a foot. The next longest marking divisions are 1/2-inch divisions. There are 2 1/2-inch increments in an inch. When each 1/2-inch increment is divided in half, we have 1/4-inch divisions. 1/4-inch divisions are commonly referred to as quarters. There are 2 quarters in a 1/2 inch and 4 quarters in an inch. When each quarter is divided in half, we have 1/8-inch increments. There are 2/8 in a quarter, 4/8 in a half, and 8/8 in an inch. When each 1/8 of an inch is divided in half, we have 1/16 of an inch increments. There are 2/16 in an eighth, 4/16 in a quarter, 8/16 in a half, and 16/16 in an inch. When each 1/16 of an inch is divided in half, we have 1/32 of an inch increments. There are 2 32nds in a 16th, 4 32nds in an eighth, 8 32nds in a quarter, 16 32nds in a half, and 32 32nds in an inch. Notice the relationship between the various increments. Each smaller division is half of the next largest increment. For example, 1/4 inch is 1/2 of 1/2 inch, and 1/8 inch is 1/2 of 1/4 inch. As previously noted, the smaller the increment, the more accurate the measurement will be. Because most materials cannot be measured exactly to an inch mark, 1/2 inch mark, or even a 1/4 inch mark, you must be able to read a ruler down to the 1/32 inch increments. In this example, we have a piece of stock that is somewhere between 6 and 6 1/2 inches. In fact, we can see that it is somewhere between 6 and 6 1/4 inches. Our task is to determine its exact length. We know that the next increment smaller than 1/4 is 1/8. However, we can see that the stock is even less than 1/8. The next increment smaller than 1/8 is 1/16. But as we can see, the stock is even less than 1/16. The next smaller increment is 1/32. As shown, the end of the piece of stock is even with this mark. Thus, this piece of stock measures exactly 6 1/32 inches. The blueprint for this 4-sided hopper specifies that the top width of side A is 11 1/2 inches. The bottom width is 3 1/2 inches. The height is 12 inches, and the slope is 14 9/16 inches. If during the layout process, the specified dimensions for any one of the 4 hopper sides had not been maintained, the hopper could not have been accurately fit up and assembled. You should now be able to identify the measurement divisions shown on a ruler and use a ruler to measure accurately down to 1/32 of an inch.